Forget about it.
I don't want to do it. I have like, okay, I have to go, because like for my birthday, I left my jacket at the restaurant. I have to go drive back and get my jacket, and then I have to go write 2 essays. I don't want to do
Happy birthday, Amelia, and your birthday.
Yeah,
Okay, my friends.
I don't want to do those essays.
So don't worry about the R2D2s just now. We're gonna play with R2D2 trouble games in a second. Promise. This is a lab that's related to your homework from last time, which was the dice that you went over at the beginning of class. So it's very much related to, hopefully, Jessica, you can hear me not have to see me. Probably better that way.
Is RTD2 the coin or the dice?
Hold that thought, and the answer to both is yes.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is I want you to read all the way down until it says let's regroup and flip some coins to see that one half.
Can we
So,
staple this?
I would, just because I don't know where the staples went. They're around. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Yeah, I would just so you don't lose anything. There you go, girl. Oh, well, you go ahead and read. I'll give you coins. Bitch is here.
You're the first person to reply.
What's that?
You're the first person to reply.
That's why we say Gesundheit when somebody sneezes. Ja. Ja, sicher.
German. My sister speaks German.
I speak very little Western German.
My sister and my brother took German in high school, so they'll talk to each other in German sometimes. And they'll like teach each other new words and stuff. And I'm over here and I'm like, I never took German, but I can understand a little bit because of that. You know when they call me idiot, I know what they're saying in German. Yeah, they'll call me idiot in German. I'm like, I know what you're saying. I heard it somewhere. My brother, though, he got these German tags that with his
Give me a
magazine.
thumbs up when you've gotten those first 2 paragraphs read, and then I want to pull together and have an experiment.
He wrote, my mother was
Everybody, give me a thumbs up when you get those first 2 paragraphs read, so I know you've got a chance to read it.
I can understand that.
There's enough light back. I'll keep asking this word. There's enough. Okay. My old man eyes hurt thinking about trying to read that. Okay. There's nothing to do except read right now for those first 2 paragraphs. Just give me a thumbs up when you're done reading.
I'm just Asian.
Just the first 2 paragraphs.
My adopted brother Gene came from China.
Or just look at me if you don't like put your thumbs up.
That feels weird.
What?
See all you beautiful people.
I spaced out.
Well, keep reading. Make sure you finish those first 2
Oh
paragraphs.
no, I finished.
Well, then just look at me.
Oh, yeah. But
So I, so I know. I don't want to go ahead
Still
and go
talking
into
to
chance to read.
I'm tired. And it was a bit early. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it. And it's fine. I have 6 hours to my next class. I'll have time to finish those 2 fucking essays. YOLO it. That's what I'm gonna do. And last time I told him, and he was like, he told the class, and he was like, you guys went way above my expectations. And I'm like, cool, I'll try his less. Even though, like, the last 2 paragraphs that I did, I just had bullshit in my mind.
Yeah.
It was 2 in the morning.
Germans actually are not-
I was like, I
It's
can
a
get this done.
common
I wrote
misconception
random
about Germans
bullshit.
that they're always
I was like,
yelling.
oh, you did really good.
They actually speak perfect English, which is embarrassing to Americans. When you go to Germany, you're like, wie geht's? They're like, just speak English to you. I speak German.
The only teacher I had is my English.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody, grab a penny. I would like to see this equal likelihood of heads and tails. So here's what I want everybody to do. I want you to flip this coin. And tell me what you've got. Now don't tell me yet. Don't tell me. That's gonna be too noisy. Take it's okay, let it fall. It fell, count it. It's right there, Amelia. So I give you 2 for you and your ghost. Raise your hand if you got heads. Raise your hand if you got heads.
Heads.
22. 22 people. Keep it up. Sorry, I was counting. Keep them up. There are 22 people in the room. I also got heads. Nice and high so I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Heads?
No, tails.
Heads. No tails. Sorry, I lost count. Keep them up. If I have to ask you 2 questions, I can
What
find
are
them.
you doing?
Flipping a coin and telling me if you got heads. That's Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, here's what just happened. I'm gonna write it on the board. Jessica needs to see this. Is it recording? Yes, it was 12, because I counted myself too, because I got heads as well. There's 22 people in the room. Here's what just happened. 12
On tails.
out of 22 people. 12 heads out of 22 people, yes? Now, before we did this experiment, you read the paragraphs, and it mentioned that you were equally likely to get heads as tails. If 12 out of the 22 people got heads, how many got tails? Without having me have to count around the room.
10.
The other 10, yeah?
Fraction.
Is that equally likely? What does equally likely mean? What does it mean? It's equally, well, it's half.
Roughly.
It should be, oh, I like what you just said. Ellie just said it's half, comma, roughly. Is that half, comma, roughly? Ish. What would exactly half of our little 22 be? 11 out of 22. Is that close to 11 out of 22?
Yeah.
It's pretty close. We better do it again, yeah? Take your coin, flip it. Raise your hand if you got heads that time. Heads, hand up. Heads, hand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this was, I'm going to erase tails, because I think we can figure out tails from heads. This was flip 1. Here's flip 2. We got 14 heads out of 22 people.
So 8 tails.
Say that again.
8 tails.
Thank you, 8 tails. Where's the half?
7. Ready?
Or let me paraphrase Ellie. Where's the half, comma, roughly? Try your points again. Ready for this? Flip 'em. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you got heads. It's hard to say. Raise your hand if you got. You don't have a penny?
I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Same thing.
Oh, you got the same thing 3 times?
Yeah. No, all 3 of us.
Oh, fuck. We'll get to that later. We'll get to all tails this time. Oh. Hands up if you got heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So 14 is tails.
Amelia, I'm calling on you and your ghost. How many tails did we get?
What?
This time, flip 3. How many tails did we
I
get?
spaced out as you were talking.
That's okay. You're tired. We got 14. Look at flip 2 and flip 3. Literally, they're flipped. We got 14 and 8 the first time, but we got 8 and 14. Where's the half?
Well, half the time we got tails at 8, and the other half we got.
Think bigger. Think bigger. What'd you just say? What do you mean by that? Let's do something even easier. I love what you just said, by the way. Give me, please. Thank you. Nicole just said, I asked where the half was, and I heard this little voice go, it's the average. You don't actually sound like that. You sound much better than that. You sound like, you know, it's the average. She said, it's the average. I said, what do you mean by the average? If you hear the word average, what does your brain go to? And Nicole gave me one definition of an average, which is add everything up and divide by 3. That's a fine definition of an average. Anybody else think of the word average a different way? The word average. Nikki, all right, Nika, go ahead.
Where you line them up and then you cross off
That is another kind of average called a median. I love it, thank you. No, it's good. It's another kind of average. There are many kinds of averages. Nicole described one, Nika described another one. I love it. Anybody think of anything different when you hear the word average? Can anybody give me the definition of the word average without using mathematical terminology? Like a conversational idea of what an average is.
Normal.
Say that again.
Normal.
I love it. A normal occurrence.
mediocre.
I mean, yeah, Wait, was it this class, Jack? Was it you? No, it was Math 98. I asked the same question in 98. I said, give me the definition of average without missing a beat. Ben, who sits right there, goes, Nickelback. And I laughed my ass off. I've never heard a Nickelback song, but all I hear is the fact they are below mediocre. So I love the fact average can be used disparagingly. Yes, it can be used disparagingly. But as far as what it means, not disparagingly, very objectively, I think normal is a good word for that, normal. Mediocre means, that almost makes it sound like it happens all the time, so it's not special, which is, believe it or not, another definition of average called the mode, the thing that happens the most, which would be kind of typical. Oh, another definition, typical, normal, kind of the same idea. Ellie?
Your C grade.
You have a grade of C. It makes me think, I went to swim practice yesterday and our coach put on the board, he's like, do a 1 by 500 at 85%. And my partner, Martin, goes, sweet, I can swim a B. And it took me a couple seconds because it was 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, swim a B? I'm like, 85%, that's pretty cute. I don't know what it means, but it was adorable, made me laugh. Okay, let's go back to this. Let's, instead of looking at these as 3 separate batches of flips, let's group them all together into one big batch of flips. How's that sound? So in other words, how many flips did we all flip together?
3.
Well, you each flipped 3, and there are 22 of us in the room, so as a combined group of statistical researchers, we flipped how many times?
66.
66 times.
So it's basically our 15 and 1 line.
66 flips, I'll put flips. Now, if the half were exactly a half, that's very East Coast. Half. Gotta drink some water. Gotta get on the roof. Forget about it. If the half were exactly a half, get it again. How many heads should we have seen exactly? Out of 66 flips.
33.
33, yes? How many did we actually get?
34.
Yes, we did. Ellie, remember I asked what the half meant earlier and you said, no, you said half the time, comma, roughly. We are off by 1/66th of what it should be. Right? Right? 1/66. Because the denominator is 66, yes? 1/66. That's a very, very small fraction, right? These are 16ths. If I cut each of those in half again, I'd make 30 seconds. And if I cut each of those in half again, I get 64ths. And that little sliver is still too big. A 64th is bigger than a 66th. Which means we're not off by that much. It's roughly half. Are we buying this? So when somebody tells you a coin is 50-50, I just flipped heads. Does that mean I'm going to flip tails on the next flip? No, it doesn't. Let's find out. Let's find out. Kelly! I flipped heads again. I flipped heads again. Is the coin broken? No. So but I just flipped twice. I got 2 heads out of 2. That means there's a 100% chance of heads on this coin. What's wrong with that statement? I just flipped 2 flips. I did the same math we just did. I flipped 2 flips, and they both came up heads. Therefore, my coin it flips heads 2 out of 2. 100-0. Not 50-50, 100-0. What is wrong with that statement? Pick it apart. It's a false statement. Pick it apart. Go.
Well, no matter what, you still have a 50%.
But my coin just did 2 out of 2. That means it's 100-0, not 50-50.
3 more, you still have 2 chances to get tails.
Oh, everyone, please. Do
Do it 3 more times and come up with a better average.
just say it again. Sorry, just say it again. I say to hear it again because it's so awesome. Please.
Do it 3 more times and come up with a better average.
Should I do it 3 more times?
No.
No, I shouldn't. Okay, well it's 100-0. Jenna's saying no, I shouldn't. This statistician is saying yes, I should. Who do we go with? What's going to give me better data?
Don't whisper me.
What's going to give me better? No, you know why I'm bringing you to the discussion? Because what you said? The news media. Gimme! The news media will often say, look at this result we just found. It's surprising and unusual. And what they literally do is they look for a report that generates something like what I just did, that counters all the other reports that you're not hearing about. They look for what's called the outlier. So let's look at 3 more times, shall we? I just missed it. Count it! Where the hell did it go? Oh, there it is. Heads. Heads again! It's 100-0, Amber. Heads.
Son of a.
Heads. 5 for 5.
I feel like that last
Coin is broken. I better keep flipping, yeah?
You're gonna get tails.
I better keep flipping.
2 out of 10.
Heads!
I feel like that one was a
Okay, that's okay. That's totally fine. It's very unusual. Okay, Jordan, you're doing it.
What are you doing?
That's heads. That was 7 heads in a row. Jesus, this is actually really weird. I like this a whole lot. Jordan, call it.
That's tails.
That's tails. Oh shit. Okay, so 8 flips, 7 heads, 1 tail. Super.
Should be 3 out of.
That's heads.
Heads! 8 heads out of 9 flips. Holy hell! Count it! Tails! What's that, 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
80%. Definitely less than 100 now.
That's heads.
Heads! 9 out of 11.
You need a new penny.
I don't. Heads!
Yes, you
This
did.
is weird. This is weird. This is weird. But how can I have a weighted penny if I'm flipping in the air?
That's heads.
I want you to, here, examine it. Give me your, Matthias, give me yours. Flip mine. Here, I'll use Matthias' penny. We're going to go with 10 out of 12. We're going to add to it now. Tails.
How many flips in the air?
Tails.
It's how I flip in the air. I think I flip pretty well. I'm just flipping it up in the air and it's just going. And then I stop it and then I go like that.
Do you have increased probability of flipping heads if you have the heads on the bottom?
That's not true at all, actually. I read the paper that presented that. So Ellie brings up a very good point, actually. Her point is that if you put heads on the bottom, it's mathematically and physically true that it's not 50-50. And here's the only way that's true. You have to build a coin flipper that flips exactly the same way every time. And you have to flip that coin in a vacuum with no air resistance. I read the paper that proposed this about 10 years ago. One of my students was like, it's not 50-50! And I read it, and at the very last paragraph of the paper, I'll never forget this. The very last paragraph says, so we have proven empirically that the odds of getting heads is not 50-50, it's more like 52-48. However, since nobody uses my flipper in a vacuum to flip coins, it's actually still 50-50. And the problem was nobody actually read to that last paragraph. So, that's okay. It's okay, my friend. That's why I love reading. Count it! Tails. So you see what we're happening? Is there really a difference between our coins, Matthias? Not really. What you just saw was a weird little fluke. Oh, that was a terrible flip. You see it was wobbly. It wasn't even flipping. Hang on. There's a good flip. Tails. Want to check with Jordan? Jordan didn't trust me earlier. And then I came over here and I had to demonstrate. He stood.
That's heads.
So I just looked 2, went tails, heads. We're back to kind of normal now. So what we definitely observed
Heads.
was kind of a weird little anomaly, yes? You know where else you observe this? Just so you know, this is a little sidetrack from our lab. You observe this in casinos when you walk into a casino. The first thing you walk into in a casino, you walk through a hallway very often. What do they put pictures on the walls of in casinos?
The biggest winners.
The people that won. The people that won. Jack! 10 heads out of 12! That's because that would be a casino win we just had, right? If we define heads as winning. You know what they don't show? Or the more typical results. Because you gotta remember, those results over there contain this penny that was just claimed to be faulty, right? My results were in there. I did not get 3 heads the first time. I got 2 heads and a tail. I don't remember. They weren't all the same though. So it's possible, even though a coin is 50-50, to get a weird string of, how many did we get in a row? Was it 7? 8 in a row? Was it 8 in a row before we got tails? That's crazy. I've never actually had that happen in 25 years of teaching. It's pretty fun to have that many in a row. But I've also been teaching for 25 years, which means how many times have I flipped coins? How many times have I flipped coins? Take a guess. Make up a number. That's ridiculous. You ready for this? Here. Since we're here, you took me down a rabbit hole. Welcome to hell.
How many years of it was college teaching, though?
It doesn't matter. I flip coins everywhere from middle school to college. You can find math for anything with coins. I want to show you something to demonstrate that getting 8 heads in a row, while unusual, is not ridiculously unusual, okay? I'm going to show you a spreadsheet I use in my Math 105 class. Just gotta find it. Hang on one sec. Is that camera still recording over there? I want Jessica to see this.
Can't.
I can't tell.
She can't? Okay, hang on.
No, we can't tell.
You can't
Here.
tell. Oh, okay, hang on. I gotta find it, hang on.
Does the white blinky light mean? Yeah,
Is it still recording?
I think so.
Awesome.
I don't know how to work cameras on.
Where's the 200 coin? Oh, I know where it is. On the website. Hang on. Gotta back out of here for a sec. We're getting R2D2 in a second. Oops. Yeah, there he is.
That is so annoying.
Totally. No, it's cute. It's a mixture of cute and pretty.
Okay. Oh, there. Oh,
I agree.
this is not the right one. Hang on.
Has literally like
Give me a sec.
and everything in this house.
Where's the
And
coins?
Why Thomas the choo-choo train?
Monty Hall, Jimmy Fallon. Spreadsheet, roll a die. Where's my coin sheet?
So my best friend has like props from the movie A Star Wars.
As you were, hang tight for a second. I gotta find this. It's actually applicable to what we're talking about right now.
And Legos. He has a Lego worm.
Craps. Fallon. Look for 200 coins. Lots of dice. Oh, here it is. Got it. There it is. Okay.
I would take these out, but I have no idea how. So
Okay, everybody take a look at this.
I'm not taking them out since I got them.
What I want you to look at,
Because I got them twisted.
this is a spreadsheet I built that does exactly the same thing we just did, except even more. It flips a coin 200 times. So when I just open the spreadsheet, it pops up T's and H's. Now, Excel doesn't actually have a coin flipping in its brain. It's got a random number generator, which is exactly the same thing as a coin. So what I want you to do is start in the top left corner, and then go left to right, then come down left to right, then come down left to right. Do you see any crazy ass runs of T's or H's in a row? Yes, you do. As a matter of fact, if you look right here, there's 8 tails in a row, which bookends nicely with 8 heads in a row that I flipped earlier. Ready for it again? I'm gonna randomize. Ready for this? There's a new one. Any crazy runs in a row this time? No. Not as crazy. Let's randomize it again. Any crazy runs in a row?
Yeah.
Quite a few tails in this one. As a matter of fact, if you look at the proportion, it's 54 out of 100 versus 47 out of 100. Which is still pretty close to 50-50, isn't it? Pretty close. It's a little further away than 50-50, but it's still, even with those crazy runs. Any crazy runs? We got a bunch of 5s in a row. I think by the time I got to 5, Jordan was claiming that I was lying, if I remember correctly.
It was 6.
It was 6! You called it after 6, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, my friend. So you see what happens? Look at this!
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
That's 9.
9.
That's 9 in a row right there. So it's, if you flip a coin enough times, it is likely that something weird like that will happen eventually. That's also what happens in casinos when people win big money. When somebody wins in a casino, what happens?
Oh my goodness.
The alarms go off. The lights go bing, bing, bing. Everybody makes a big deal of a person that's losing. And while that person, or excuse me, is winning. And while that person is winning, everyone else at the casino is probably losing, which is paying for the person who won's prizes. Does that make sense? So we just happen to witness that in real time, which is actually kind of fun, I think. Now, what it doesn't help you with is gambling strategy. Because I'll tell you a quick story. Years ago, I went to Chinook Winds to watch Tesla play. They played a concert for the first time ever on the Oregon coast. And I was like, I'm going to that show. And as I was walking to the show, there was a crowd formed. You ever heard of a one-armed bandit slot machine?
Yep.
There was a crowd formed around a one-armed bandit. I walked by my buddy Amy. She's like, what the hell's going on? I'm too short to see this. And I leaned over. A little tiny old lady was putting, she was using coins or dollars. I forget what it was, but she was putting tokens in and pulling the arm, and the wheels were going. And then the crowd would go, yes! And then she'd grab another token and put it in. And the crowd would go, yes! And I tapped her guy on the shoulder. I said, what's going on? They're like, we're watching this lady gamble. You seem like you're all having an awful lot of fun watching this lady gamble. And he said, that's because she's losing. And I was like, oh, why are you cheering because she's losing? It seems kind of mean-spirited, right? And he said, well, if she keeps losing, we hope she gives up. And then if she gives up, we're going to jump in her seat. And then it's more likely we're going to win. And I tapped, because he was still whispering, and I tapped him like, you know that's not how math works, right? And he looked at me like I had 3 heads and I walked away. Because what he was assuming was that machine remembered what happened. Just like Jordan claimed my flips were fake after 6, right? But you can see the coin doesn't remember. It just knows that over a long period of time, these numbers should both approach 50-50. Notice how tails is up by a bit here, but you'll also see times when heads is up by a bit. If I keep flipping, eventually you'll see it. There, heads is up. And it goes back and forth. Heads is up sometimes, tails is up other times. Hell, we saw it right here. Heads was up in flip 2, and then tails was up in flip 3. When you balance it all, it comes to roughly 50-50. We just happen to see a fun little anomaly in person, which is actually a lot of fun. Super fun. Jenna, go!
So I'm confused on, because there's this experiment.
Why are you reading down past that? We're not even there yet. I'm sorry, Neil. We'll get to that right now, okay? I love that you read down first. That experiment, thank you, Jenna. Jenna, the reason I'm stopping you.
I want to write
Don't you worry about it, my friend. I'm going to get you started right here. What I want you to do is I want you to take what you just learned. No, don't worry. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. This is a great question. I loved your question. We're going to talk about what you just did and how it applies to any experiment that is done in the world. But what makes the experiments in the world harder, which is what Jen is pointing out, which is awesome. So what I want you, I'm going to read part of this with you. I said, let's go back to the question I asked you in class last time, although I didn't ask you this question. I forgot to ask you this question. I was supposed to. So I'm going to ask you now. What fraction of the time do I get hit by a car when I cross College Way in a crosswalk? So, how many of you have heard a question like this? What's the chance? Usually, when do you hear something like that? Like, what's the chance of when something happens? Like, what's the chance of that happening? What's the chance of that happening? Like something, usually something very, very, very what?
Unlikely.
Unlikely, surprising, something that you're not used to seeing. Like what's the chance you're standing on, or there's a guy standing on a ladder, and you happen to walk under the ladder at the same time a black cat crosses your path? What's the chance? I saw a raccoon riding into work this morning, pitch black. I went by, I saw a striped tail, I'm like, oh kitty, oh God, raccoon. What's the chance? What's the chance? One answer is, well, you either do or you don't. So it's 50-50. That's one answer. But I would argue that's not the correct answer. So what I want you to think about here, and Jen, thank you for this question. What I want you to think about here is, I want you to think about the experiment of me crossing the crosswalk on College Way, or anywhere else for that matter, or you crossing the crosswalk on College Way, or else for that matter. So what I want you to do is, in this box down here, I want you to fill in the gray boxes with fractions. 2 of them should be fairly obvious what fractions you're going to put in there, based on what we just did with coins, the heads and tails. What I want you to try to do is to approximate a fraction for the fraction of time I get hit in a crosswalk crossing College Way. Give it a shot. It's not, first of all, there's no guaranteed answer for some of those fractions. I want you to think about what you think the fraction is and write that down. And then we'll regroup, Jen, okay? Don't worry about question 2 yet. We're going to do question 1 first, okay? Thank you for that question. Yes. Oh, hell. Did you see that up there, Jordan? I didn't even see that till right now. I think I've seen 10 once or twice, like 10 in a row.
I was in Vegas a while back, and I was playing roulette, or I was watching people play roulette.
Nice.
My number got picked, or my number picked 3 times.
Oh, you actually played it 3 times? You didn't hit 3 times? Hell yeah. That was awesome.
I know.
And then you walked away, right? Did you walk away after that? Hell yeah, you did. What's the little piece? Holy shit, I just won 3 times. You went over it again. Get the hell out. I'm actually pleasantly surprised you stayed twice more.
Well, I played different numbers each time.
Oh, your number that you picked each time hit 3 times. So you picked 23 and then something else and something else. I got you. I'm still pleasantly surprised. Did you bet straight bets like that number? Or red, black? Oh, you were black. Nice. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Excellent, sir. But thank you for proving the point. You walked away because you knew your luck wouldn't last. Man, I love this. Thank you, Jordan. It's just, you know, it doesn't have to be. It can be any denominator you want.
500.
Yes. You can pick the coin denominator not the attitude if you want to. I mean, we did it at 66, right? Okay. I love that way.
It's 2.6
I'm saying.
per year.
That's so now what we're doing is use statistics to know how many cars are down there, how many folks get hit per year. From those two numbers, you can figure out
Year misses.
what the proper proportion is. I mean, you can literally put those numbers together and figure it out. Statisticians. Yes. Keep thinking. I'm gonna stop talking. I need you to think. God, what I'm hearing right now is making me so damn happy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Jessica, we still recording? You're hearing me swear all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop at this and we'll start.